Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
I want to start with the political spat that has surrounded Shaun Bailey since he won the nomination to run as the Conservative candidate for London Mayor in 2020. Following his nomination a fortnight ago, controversial comments made by Mr Bailey in the past started to emerge. They were quickly followed by a backlash against Mr Bailey, including highly personal and offensive comments made on Twitter. Now, Greg Hands, you supported Shaun Bailey's nomination.
Very much so.
We've obviously had him being attacked on Twitter, but I want to talk about the actual comments that he has made that have kind of sparked all of this. Now, he made some comments in a pamphlet back in 2005 where he talked about how Muslim and Hindu festivals robbed Britain of its community and could let us slip into a crime-riddled cesspool. Is that the kind of attitude that someone who's running for Mayor of London, which is a very multicultural, diverse city, should hold?
Well, these are comments made by Shaun about 13 years ago when he wasn't a politician and was trying to describe life as he saw it on difficult estates where he was brought up, on a difficult council estate in North Kensington. This was before he was involved in politics, and it's certainly not deserved the opprobrium he's received online from Labour Party members. But
nonetheless, they are comments that he made. He hasn't said that he no longer believes the sentiment behind those comments. And it wasn't just comments about ethnic minorities. There was also something about how people from working classes needed rules to keep them away from crime. Good-looking girls tend to have been around, various other things about single mothers. He's offended Muslim communities, Hindu communities, single mothers, young women, working classes. Shouldn't he come out and say, you know what, I no longer have those views, and draw a line under it in that respect and actually come out and address it?
Well, I don't think Shaun does have those views. But the important thing at the time in 2005 was what he was trying to get across is what life was like on an estate at that time, and that is what brought him to attention. He appeared in Parliament talking about some of the issues like that.
But he wasn't a boy. He was in his 30s at that point. By that point, somebody already...
he was a boy, yeah. But what I'm saying is that he was describing life on a North Kensington estate as he saw it at that time. He was involved in youth work, comes from a background, and actually brought a lot of those issues to attention. But what he hasn't deserved is being called by Labour Party members.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
Really
Rosanna, just with regards to the actual comments that Shaun Bailey made, do you accept this argument that, you know, it was a long time ago, you know, there were views that he held then, and, you know, he's become a more, I suppose, experienced politician now?
Absolutely not. His comments are utterly reprehensible. He was in his mid to late 30s, only a couple of years younger than I am now. The fact is, he held these toxic views and still does. What he said was that celebrating Eid and Diwali is divisive to our community and will cause Britain to slip into a crime-ridden cesspool. Do you agree with what he said?
No. But
do you, Greg, agree with what he said, that women sleep around to get council houses?
First of all, he didn't say that. What he was describing overall, and this is a very long pamphlet for the Centre for Policy Studies, which I have read, actually, and I'd urge you to read the whole pamphlet.
I have read the pamphlet. Good. I'm entirely up to speed.
Example,
do you think it's appropriate to say that clean girls are less likely to have a sexually transmitted disease?
He did not say
it is an utter embarrassment that a man who holds such divisive, toxic views is even running for Mayor of London. Being a politician or not.
Let's calm this down a little bit, because what he has said in recent articles this week in the Daily Telegraph, for example, has been to explain the context of the comments that he made in 2005, why he made those comments, and how they were immature comments in terms of it being a politician, and that since his views have changed and have become much broader.
Rosanna, now you're close to Sadiq Khan. You know, certainly over the past couple of weeks, we've been getting a lot of, certainly journalists like myself, Labour telling me about various newspaper articles that are coming out about Shaun Bailey. There's a sense that this is, you know, it's kind of a bit orchestrated, isn't it, on Labour's part? It benefits the Labour mayor to have these types of stories coming out about Shaun Bailey.
Sadiq certainly didn't orchestrate Bailey's ridiculous, divisive, childish comments 13 years ago, for which he's not taking any responsibility.
We're talking about, actually, what we've had over the past couple of weeks, all of this stuff surfacing. Is there an element of Labour seizing on this?
Well, there was nothing from Labour before Shaun was selected,
Shaun Bailey was instrumental in supporting Zach Goldsmith's dog whistle politics divisive campaign. Did you support Zach Goldsmith?
Yes, I did. I did support Zach Goldsmith.
So you were instrumental in his campaign, his Islamophobic, toxic, dog whistle policy.
Have you spoken to Sadiq Khan about this issue? We know you're obviously close to him.
I have spoken to Sadiq Khan, and he said there is absolutely no place for any form of discrimination in politics.
What about
he faces daily discrimination every single time he posts something on social media. Let me finish, please. Every single time he posts something on social media, it is followed by a slurry of Islamophobic abuse, many of those people also retweet Jacob Rees-Mogg and Boris Johnson.
Rosanna, they are Tory party members. And Greg Hands was talking about it earlier, that obviously, you know, Shaun Bailey has himself faced racist attacks
this is actually from Labour Party members. He has been called by Labour Party members, yeah? He's been called an Uncle Tom. He has been called a coconut. He has been called by your MP colleague, Emma Dent Code, quote, a token ghetto boy.
There's no place.
Where is the investigation?
There is no place.
And why are these people being expelled from the Labour Party?
There is no place.
Could Labour not be doing
There is no place for racism or any form of abuse within the Labour Party. If they are Labour members, they should be expelled.
Okay,
but I would say, where has been the investigation into Zach Goldsmith? Where has been the investigation into Islamophobia in the Tory party, your party?
In the last
Greg,
2 weeks,
do you accept? Do you agree with Shaun Bailey when he said that celebrating Eid and Diwali will divide our community and slip Britain into a crime-ridden cesspool?
Shaun Bailey a coconut?
I'm afraid we're going to have to stop there. Obviously, we're going to have to agree to disagree. A discussion that could continue much longer, I'm sure, but we'll have to move on.